Hey guys, welcome back to One Stop Biology.
So in today's video, we are going to continue with common diseases in humans. And if you would have remember what we studied in the last video, we basically covered some of the common diseases, like we covered typhoid, we covered pneumonia, and then we covered the common cold, which is caused by a virus, right? So today we are going to cover few more diseases. Like first we'll cover malaria, and then we'll move forward to even more diseases. So guys, when it comes to malaria, basically, malaria is caused by a protozoan. It is caused by protozoan, right? And it is the name of that protozoan is Plasmodium. Plasmodium and different species are there, right? So genus is Plasmodium. Now, different species of Plasmodium is like Plasmodium vivax, Plasmodium malaria, Plasmodium falciparum. So these different types of plasmodiums are responsible for different types of malaria disease, right? Now, of all of from all of these, malignant malaria, which is caused by Plasmodium falciparum, is the most serious one, and it can be fatal as well. So remember that the one caused by Plasmodium falciparum is the most fatal one. It is the most serious one, right? So let's first see what is the life cycle of Plasmodium to understand how basically the disease occurs. So initially what happens is that the Plasmodium enters into the human body as a sporozoid form, which is an infectious form basically. And how does it enter? It enters through the bite of infected female Anopheles mosquito. So basically, female Anopheles mosquito is nothing but the carrier of the Plasmodium, right? And that bites human to suck blood, and it transfers Plasmodium as sporozoid, which is the infectious form. So, sporozoid is the infectious form, and it gets in transferred from female Anopheles mosquito. Now, after it enters into the human's body, the plasmodium initially what it does is it multiplies within the liver cells. It multiplies within the liver cells of human, and then they start attacking the RBCs, the red blood cells, which basically results into rupturing of these RBCs. And this rupture of RBC is basically associated with release of a toxic substance, which is hemozoin. And this toxic substance is responsible for the chill and high fever that, comes as a symptom in the human being. So the symptom comes from release of a toxic substance, which is hemozoin, which is released when the RBC ruptures. And this chill and high fever basically, keeps on recurring every 3 to 4 days. So guys, I hope I can see you the diagram itself so that you can understand it. Right. So what happens basically? It, uh, you know, um, attacks the red blood cells, and they rupture and they release hemozoin. Now, this hemozoin is responsible for chill and high fever, which occurs every 3 to 4 days. Now, when a female Anopheles mosquito bites an infected person, what happens is these parasites again enters into the mosquito's body and undergo further development. What happens is that these parasites multiply within the body, and they form sporozoid, and these are stored in salivary glands of the mosquito, and then again mosquito becomes a carrier, and then these mosquitoes, when bite another human, these sporozoites are introduced into again the human body, and again, causing malarial symptoms to the human. So basically, malarial parasite has two hosts. Malarial parasite has two hosts, human and mosquito, right? So they need human and mosquitoes both in order to complete their life cycle. Remember that, right? And the female Anopheles mosquito is a vector as well. So it is one of the host as well as the transmitting agent. So it basically serves as a vector as well, right? So basically what you're seeing here is the life cycle of Plasmodium. Here, when you see what happens is that when the mosquito bites human, and this mosquito, is infected already, it is a vector, the sporozoites are injected with the bite. Now they reach to the liver cell, and what they do is they start multiplying in the liver cells, and then they burst into the blood. They come into the blood. Now here what they do is they basically start breaking RBCs, and because of that you have a toxic substance release which is hemozoin, and that causes fever and chills, right? Now basically the parasites, they reproduce asexually in the RBCs, they burst the RBCs, and they cause the cycle of fever and other symptoms, right? Now, these basically parasites infect new RBCs as well. And then they develop into the red blood cells. So you have female and male both, right? Now, these male and female, so they are already now present in the blood, right? Now, again, a fresh mosquito comes and sucks this human's blood who is already infected, right? And this female mosquito takes up these gametocytes, male and female gametocytes, with the blood meal. And then again, in the mosquito, the half of the life cycle of this plasmodium occurs, where fertilization happens and development happens again in the mosquito's gut, and then these fertilized forms gets mature, and they basically gets mature into sporozoites, and they escape from the gut and they migrate into mosquito's salivary gland, and then they basically sit in the salivary gland till the mosquito goes to another healthy human and starts sucking that human's blood, and again these sporozoites gets delivered into the healthy human and cause malaria. So this cycle keeps on repeating, right? So this is all about malaria. Now the next disease that we are going to study is amoebiasis. So basically, Entamoeba histolytica again is a protozoan. Amoebiasis, also known as amoebic dysentery, is the disease caused by again a protozoan. Name is Entamoeba histolytica. Name is Entamoeba histolytica. So Entamoeba histolytica is a protozoan parasite which is present in the large intestine of humans, and it causes amoebic dysentery. Now the symptoms of this disease include constipation. Since it affects the gut, the symptoms will be related to the gut, right? Abdominal pain and cramps, right? You have stool with mucus excess, mucus and blood clot as well, right? So here, what is the carrier basically? What is the carrier of the disease? The house flies. It is a foodborne disease, basically, guys. So, house flies act as a mechanical carrier and it serves to transmit the parasite from feces of infected person to food and normal food and different food products, and thereby it contaminates the food and drinking water. Now, this drinking water and food contamination by the fecal matter are the main source of infection. So here housefly is the carrier and it causes food and water contamination, right? So this is all about amoebiasis. Now the next one is caused by a helminth which is ascaris, right? So the disease is ascariasis. The disease is ascariasis, right? So it is Ascariasis. It is caused by a roundworm, Ascaris, right? And Wuchereria. These are the worms, right? This is the Filaria worm, another disease, right? So there are two different diseases, Ascariasis and Filaria. Now, in Ascariasis, what happens basically is it is an intestinal parasite. So this this is an intestinal parasite. Okay, and the disease symptoms are, internal bleeding. Symptoms are internal bleeding. You have muscular pain. You have fever. You have anemia. And your intestines, since it's a disease of intestine, it you have blockage of intestinal passage as well. And how it is basically transmitted. So what happens is that the eggs of these parasites are excreted along with the feces of infected person, and that those eggs, because of the feed, they get mixed with the soil. They basically contaminate the soil, water, plants, and everything that comes in contact with it, right? And when a healthy person acquires this infection through, say, vegetables, fruits, contaminated water, right? So you have contaminated water, vegetables, and fruits. And again, you transfer it in the soil through feces, your feces, and again it gets mixed and contaminates more people. In the same way, we have Wuchereria, which causes filaria, right? So there are different species of Wuchereria like Bancrofty and Malai. These are filarial worms and they cause a slowly developing chronic disease. Guys, it is a very chronic disease. So it is a very slowly developing chronic disease and it is an inflammation basically. It is an inflammation of organs, right? So filaria is an inflammation of organs in which basically these worms live for many years. So what they do is basically they infect the lymphatic vessels of the lower limbs, and in that case the disease is known as elephantitis or filariasis. So it is known as elephantitis, elephantiasis or Filariasis, right? So what they do is basically in these cases, the the lymphatic vessels of lower limbs gets infected. Now, along with that, also the genital organs gets infected, right? So not just the limbs, the genital organs also gets infected, right? Hmm. So what happened again? How it is transmitted? So basically, what happens is that it results in deformities like highly swollen limbs and genital organs, right? So you'll have various gross deformities. And how it is transmitted? It is transmitted again. It is transmitted through the bite of female mosquito vectors. So again, this is caused by a female mosquito vector, right? Now, these are all the different protozoan and worm diseases. We also have, many fungi belonging to, microsporum or, trichophyton or epidermophyton, which are responsible for ringworms, which is one of the most common infectious disease in basically man. So there what happens is you have appearance of uh, dry skin, scaly lesions, and various part of the body such as skins, nails, and scalp. You have infections all in all these regions, and these lesions are basically accompanied by intense itching as well, right? So what happens is that heat and moisture makes these fungi grow, and it thrives on the skin folds. So on the skin folds, it basically starts growing. Now it basically can grow, in the groin, and it can also grow between the toes, right? So ringworms are generally acquired from soil, and by using towels, clothes, or even the comb or infected individuals, you can get these worms, right? So that is why, guys, it is said that maintenance of personal and public hygiene is very, very important for prevention and control of these diseases, right? In order to prevent and control these diseases, it is very, very important that you maintain proper cleanliness, right? And that is why there are certain points given which should be taken in consideration. Like you should keep your body clean. You should consume clean uh, drinking water, clean food, vegetables, fruits. There should be a proper method of disposable of waste and excreta, and there should be periodic cleaning as well, and disinfection of any water reservoir, pools, or tanks. And then you should avoid any close contact with an infected person. So if you know that there is anyone who might be infected with one or the other disease, you should avoid close contact. And you should also control and eliminate vectors like mosquitoes and their breeding places as well. So guys, this is all about the different type of transmitting communicable diseases. And in the next video, we are going to study something about the immunity. So, what exactly is immunity? How does it help us fight diseases? And what are different kinds of immunities? So, I hope you would have liked this video. Please do not forget to like it and share it with your friends. And yes, if you're new to the channel, please do not forget to subscribe to the channel and press the bell icon to get all the updates. And guys, if you have any doubt with respect to any of these diseases, please do not hesitate in pinging me either in the comment section of this video, or you can also ping me on WhatsApp and ask your doubts. The number is given in the description of the video. Thanks, guys. Thank you very much for watching this video. See you in the next one. Bye bye.